Arizona ranked fourth in the country when it came to guns found at TSA checkpoints last year. Highly illegal, can be very expensive. I read today on the website up to $17,000 in fines if you bring a gun through. So in total across the U.S., more than 6,600 guns were taken at airport security in 2024. So how do you travel with your guns safely? What can you take with you? We are getting very close to spring break here. You may be traveling. So Patricia Mancha with TSA and Officer Jeffrey Gates is here with us. Good to see you very much. Talking about what we can and can't bring. All right, let's start with things that I wouldn't expect. First of all of these things were found at the TSA checkpoint at Sky Harbor.
That is correct. Voluntarily abandoned.
And you also said this represents, on average, just a few hours worth of people coming through.
Of one checkpoint.
Yeah, see, that's crazy when you think about it. All right, frying pans. Now, what would be the problem with bringing a frying pan on?
That can be used as a weapon. Pummel somebody and hurt them.
Okay, and that can't go. All right,
No.
so obviously with your liquids, tell me about this.
If you can spill it, spray it, pour it, pump it, it's considered a liquid and limited to 3.4 ounces.
Okay, and then a Leatherman, people might have this, they want to work on it, but it's got a blade on it, right? Is that what the issue is?
Yes.
So obviously anything with the blade. We've got these different knives. Lighters, this is interesting. So this is a torch type lighter, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so that's no, but like a regular Bic or something is okay.
Yes, that's allowed.
All right, good. And then, go ahead.
Pepper spray?
Oh yeah, pepper spray, you can't bring that. And this is a garden hoe. Why?
Yes.
What's the deal with this?
Again, people can use that to cause bodily injury, just like a hammer.
Well, all right. And then, of course, box cutters. We think back at 9/11, that was used. And then I thought this was interesting. This is just kind of a small little tool. So what's the problem with this?
That has a blade. We
blade
also
right
see
here.
people that have credit card knives. So it's a knife that actually folds like a credit card, has a handle, and it has a big old blade. So there's all kinds of novelty items that people now have.
All right, they can't bring. And this is kind of like a Hello Kitty. This could be like a brass knuckle thing.
Cat eyes.
Thing.
Exactly.
Cat eyes is what it's called?
That's what it's called.
All right. You
Yeah,
can't bring that. Oh, we just scared Tramp. You got to watch that. Now, what's the deal with power tools? Why can't I have a power tool?
Because people can actually use power tools if they know how to use them to cause a lot of damage on board a plane. So you don't want somebody who actually knows what they're doing with a power tool.
Drilling a window out or something?
Doing
Yeah,
something
that's the
like
last
that,
thing you
yes.
need for sure. And then we're going to talk about guns in just a second. But we've got empty magazines. You can't even bring an empty magazine on the plane.
Any firearm or firearm components, so even toy guns are not allowed. They're allowed in your checked luggage, and we have an officer who's going to demonstrate how to pack them, but nothing that has to do with firearms or firearm components are allowed in your carry-on luggage.
And we call this the Nancy Kerrigan tool. Let's get T up here. You can't bring that either. That's a no-go. All right, Officer Gates, let's talk to you. Okay. So let's say now, obviously, you cannot bring any gun or gun component on a carry-on.
That's correct.
But if you have a checked bag that you check through, you can.
Yes.
All right, take us through this.
Okay, so the first thing you want to do before you even come to the airport is you want to make sure that you properly pack your firearm. You'll put it in a hard-sided case. We'll go ahead and knock on that.
It has to be a gun case, or
Yes.
can it just be anything?
It can be actually any kind of hard-sided container.
Okay.
It does not need to be a Pelican, a Stop Box, any of those major brands will be fine. But you want to make sure you pack it in there first. Some of the airlines differ around the country, depending on where you're flying out of. But you want to make sure that you understand the local regulations of that airline. And when you take ammo, you want to make sure that's in a locked container as well.
With the gun.
It
this is a magazine that does have rounds in it.
Yes.
And so a magazine with rounds in it checked is going to be okay.
That's okay.
Okay.
As long as it's in a hard-sided container like this. And if you don't have enough room in your container, then you want to take that out and you can put it in another locked container.
But you can't just have rounds rolling around in your luggage.
No, you cannot have any loose rounds inside your luggage.
Okay.
The most important thing is to make sure that it's locked securely when you get ready to take it to the airline counter. If it has more than one latch on it for locks, we highly recommend that you use a lock for each part that locks.
Okay, so take us through this. I can see you close it here and then it slides like this. And do they have to be TSA compliant?
Yes.
They do?
Yes.
You can't just put your own little,
No.
master lock
If
on
you put your own lock on there, if they have to retrieve the bag for some reason or another and retrieve the firearm, they're going to have to cut the lock and then you won't be able to travel with it.
Oh, okay.
So you want to make sure you use a TSA-approved lock when you put it on there.
And these slide through like this. Can I lock it, or do you have the combination?
No, I don't.
Okay. So click. Imagine we just lock this, and we'll lock the other one as well.
Right.
How many people do we see? Let me ask you this: if you bring this into your checked luggage, are you like guaranteed to get inspected? I mean, do you inspect every? I mean, because you X-ray everything, right? And if you see a firearm in there, you automatically take a good look at it.
Yes. What happens is when you check into the airline counter, they're going to have you fill out a declaration, that you're certifying that you're taking a firearm with you. It has to be unloaded, and then an airline representative will take you to a section of TSA, and they will go ahead and open up the firearm, double check that it's not loaded, make sure the ammunition's in a locked container. They'll certify it, and then they'll take it back to the airline and put it on the aircraft.
So you can take it with you, just a few extra steps. Yes. Thank you so much for joining us today. Any last words as we're heading out to spring break here? I mean, I can't believe it's happening in 2 weeks, 3 weeks. What would you say?
Lots of information. Go to our social media sites, go to our website. Lots of information there. You can ask TSA and get a response from a uniformed officer in less than 10 minutes. That's generally the way it goes, usually like 5 minutes.
Wow.
And arrive early.
Right.
That is the #1 tip. If you're traveling, arrive early. We can't say it enough.
And I have to thank both of you for TSA PreCheck. If I can just say anything you want to do to travel, TSA PreCheck is great. All right. Thank you guys for coming on.
Our pleasure.
All right.